start again. It's a redskin.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Corgi Town, USA. I am Candy. In my lap is Chuckles, our spokescorg.
And I am Catherine. Sitting at home with his daddy is Digby, my corgi.
He did get to be in the studio today, but he had some fun this morning.
He did have some fun this morning, but his sister, who is not a corgi, and is
Honorary
corgi, and she isn't completely socialized yet. She got sad when he started to leave, so the two of them are going to.
You left her some company.
Yeah. Great trouble. So there you go.
Well, in the studio, we do, of course, have Chuckles in my lap, and then we have Tito Bandito, Mortimer Barnabas, and Little Booger, our senior. So we are all here for you every week, all things corgi and pet parent lifestyle. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We are here because you listen to us and you watch us and you put up with our shenanigans, and we really enjoy it. So we're hoping we can keep doing that, and we can do that only with your support. But we have all kinds of different subjects here on the show. It's not just corgi fun, although we have a lot of that.
We have a lot of corgi fun. It's
informational.
It's informational, it's educational. It's not just about corgis. So, send the link over to your
dog parents
friends.
Dog parents.
Dog parents.
We're here for, all of dogdom, not just corgdom.
Right.
But we also talk about, grooming and health of breed, health of pups. And then I'm a dog trainer. So we talk a lot about training as well and behavioral things. And we're kind of going to go a little bit into therapy today with a special guest. Should we bring her on?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Everyone, please welcome Tosha with Pawsitive Friendships. Tosha, welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to join us and tell us about your program. And Kat and I are very excited to hear about it, and I know our audience is too. Can you tell us just a little intro, like who you are, how you got started?
Absolutely. So my name's Tosha, and I'm the founder and CEO of Pawsitive Friendships, and it's Pawsitive, so Pawsitive Friendships. And we started in 2014. So this is December will be our 11th year. And I started the organization when my son was diagnosed with autism. So he was not making progress in his occupational therapy until I incorporated my French bulldog Zoe into his exercises at home. And once I incorporated her into his exercises, that's when his compliance completely changed and he began to make progress. And I was kind of like, so if I can help him make this progress at home, why can't I help other kids? And so that's how Pawsitive Friendships started. We're now serving, so now fast forward where we're at now, we serve over 2,300 individuals with special needs all across Maricopa County and in Tucson. And we can work with 13 different species of animals. So it's not just dogs, but all different kinds of animals. And we work in special education classrooms, private schools that are special education focused, and we also work with adults with developmental disabilities.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive, and congratulations on all the growth.
Thank you.
Yeah, super exciting. You're doing a great service, and the inspiration behind that service, of course, is very heartfelt. That's a good way to get started. We
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, close to your heart, right? Like your heart is in it.
Absolutely. It's my life, because I live it day to day. And as my son has changed and come across struggles, then, that's kind of how the organization started to develop more. So as he got older, then his challenges became less fine motor skills, gross motor skills focused. They started becoming into more social skills focused. And so that's when we would start to develop a lot more social skills activities. So it's kind of like literally what I'm doing at home to help him make his progress is what I would start to incorporate into the organization, because we do have a curriculum that we use when we go into the classrooms. So we actually bring adaptive activities into the classrooms to help the kids work on their skills.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is very impressive.
Thank
and
you.
And you have your own little research subject at home.
Basically, and that as he's grown, and I would, I'd have an idea and I'd be like, okay, let me see if this is gonna work. All right, come here, buddy, let's try this out, and grab one of the dogs and see how it's gonna work and test it out and to find out which adaptions I need to make. So he went through a lot of testing when he was younger.
You get to beta test in real time.
Absolutely. Yes, he did.
Oh, how
amazing.
sweet. That
Yeah.
is amazing. Yeah. So how can someone get involved with your organization with their pup? And what do you look for? And those are kind of
Absolutely.
loaded questions. So I feel like we'll go into
There's
that
a
quite a
lot
bit.
of information in there. So I'll try not to talk too fast. I talk pretty quick, so I'll slow it down. So for us, we are a 96% volunteer ran organization. So
Wow.
we won't take on any more schools or facilities unless I know that we have the volunteer therapy teams to be able to fulfill that, because I don't want to overextend ourselves. So right now we are in need of therapy teams because we have such a long wait list of facilities and schools that are wanting our services. Our biggest area of need is in the East Valley, specifically like that Mesa area, but we
Right.
do have opportunities all over Maricopa County. And if someone wants to get involved and they say, oh, you know what, my dog, I don't know if my dog would be a good fit. So what they look for is your dog social? That's number one. Do they like people? Because if they don't like people, you can't train them to like people. They don't like people. But if they love people, but they're a little hyperactive or they pull on the leash a little bit, those skills can be worked on through training. But so at number one, they have to be social and like people. Number two, you want to make sure that you get them into training as early as possible and that you want them to have very good manners. Top priority is barking, no barking. Because when they come in there, we don't want the kids. Sometimes their ears, they're very sensitive to sound working with the
Right.
special needs community.
Yeah.
Some of them might have a bad experience with the dog and it might be fearful and trigger something for them. So we want to be mindful of that. Jumping, no jumping. They can't jump up. They might scratch the clients. They need to have really good manners. But at the same, we don't need a dog to just sit there and lay there. If they do, that's great, but it's not required. If they have a little bit of energy, that's great, because we do bring activities in. So it's fun for the kids to be able to do those activities with them and be interactive and be fun. They don't have to know a bunch of tricks and all of that stuff. My Frenchie, our logo, he does not know any tricks. And the kids are always asking, hey, what tricks does he know? And I always say, he's really cute. That's
That's his only trick.
he's cute. But they don't have to know all of these tricks. But we're, basic obedience. If your dog can pass Canine Good Citizen, CGC, then they can absolutely pass our assessment. And we are an independent organization, so we do all of our assessments in-house because I don't need the same requirements they need in a hospital, because we're in a school setting. They're doing those occupational therapy activities, so it's a lot more engaging and active. So having an active dog is great because they don't need to just sit next to the hospital bed and be pet. So we do all of our own assessments, and then they're all covered. Once they pass their assessment, then they're covered under our insurance. They do need to be 1 year old. The pet needs to be 1 year old, at least. They need to be owned by their handler for at least 8 months, because we really want to make sure that they truly understand that their animal. They need to be current on their rabies. And that's pretty much it for the dog side of it. On the human side of it, we need to make sure that the human really, really understands their dog. They need to know their dog inside out because you're their voice, and you need to be able to advocate for your pet, and not skip a beat, because the population we work with, sometimes they can be a little grabby or a little impulsive. So we need to make sure that the human is demonstrating, no, don't, no, pet this way, let's use gentle hands, so that they're advocating for their pet. And also, if they notice that their pet's getting a little stressed, then we want them to be able to verbalize that to us, and so that we can say, hey, we're going to take a little break, and then let them regroup and then come back. But the handlers, the human side, they need to be 18 years age or older. They need to have a fingerprint clearance card or their level 3 background check. And then we require them to visit 6 program visits throughout a year, within a year.
So you have a minimum.
We do. So the minimum is 6. So it's 6 program visits per year. And those are typically about an hour each time. And then here's the tricky part, is that because we are in the schools, those opportunities are during the day, during the week. So that's unfortunately usually the limiting factor. Although a lot of our volunteers, they're retirees, or they have a flexible work schedule where they're able to flex their work time. And so they'll volunteer, if you volunteer once a month, that's, that's 12 visits. So it's not too bad.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm checking off all the things. Okay, can't use Digby. Okay, can't use Digby. Okay, can't use Digby. Okay, can't use Digby. Okay, can't use me. Digby likes people. I don't like people. And
Cat's not a therapy dog.
no, cat's not a therapy dog. Nor is Digby. Although Digby could be trained. I don't know if I could.
Digby, I think would for the most part pass his CGC.
I
And I'm
think so.
Digby's trainer, and that's Cat's support animal. But I love that you've kind of broken that down for us. And just for context, we have a lot of listeners in other parts of the world. Maricopa County is specific to Arizona, so Pawsitive Friendships is focusing on Arizona. But I'm a trainer, so I love that you've kind of brought up what you look for in your dog, and I love that you've brought up being social and how you can't force that. You are absolutely correct. I mean, that's that. I get people that come to me that say, "Oh, I want a therapy dog," or "I want a service dog," and I don't want to say most often, but I say often, that sometimes I'll come to you and I have to explain, your dog doesn't really have the temperament for that type of work.
Yeah.
Like we can train them to have better manners. And if they don't like people, we can certainly increase their tolerance of people.
She did that with me.
to where they're well-mannered among people, even though they're not 100% comfortable, but they tolerate it to an extent within comfortable means. We never force the pup to do what they don't want, or where they're going to be uncomfortable. And I think you had mentioned not forcing your dog into it. And I love that you brought that up, because that's the same thing. I mean, as much as we want to write a narrative for our pups and say, this is your job and this is what I want you to do, we have to work in the confines of their comfort level and what they're willing to do and kind of where they're geared towards.
Yeah. I don't know many dogs that would, sit and sometimes we'll record back to back to back to back. And
Chuckles is a little squirmy today, but he's hardly ever squirmy.
No,
he usually sits here all day long.
Yes, and that's sort of, he's just, and even squirmy, he's just being such an angel.
But he is a trained service dog, though.
Yes.
So he's been socialized. We've socialized the crap out of him.
And if unfortunately we have, during our assessments, we have had to tell some people, I'm sorry, it's just not a good fit. And if our assessors and our staff are trying to pet the dog and they're just kind of like hiding behind their mom, you don't want to put them in that situation, no matter how bad the human wants it, because if the dog feels taken over, you don't want the dog to react. They're going to defend themselves by, biting or, and that's the last thing we want. And we want a good therapy dog to just come up and sit and beg the kids to pet me. pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me, because we don't want them to take it personal and say, oh, do they not like me? That's
Yes.
heartbreaking when you
Yes.
have a kid who they have special needs, so they're not fully understanding everything anyways. But then when you have a dog that shies away from them because they don't want to pet or they don't even want to take a treat, then that's going to create, more problems. So I would much rather have a dog just sit there and just beg to be touched over and over and over again, or beg for more treats or want to play, than shoving a dog to a kid is just not a good situation.
Sure. Yeah.
I think I would liken that to, parents who, you're going to take ballet. You're going to take,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Stage moms and dads.
stage moms and dads. And do that to your kids. You do that to your pet. It's not fair to either one.
No,
We have to
it's
adjust
not.
our expectations as guardians, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong if you have a dog that has amazing manners, but they just don't like people. That's nothing's wrong with that. That's great to have a well-behaved dog that you have at home. That's fabulous.
That's Tito.
Yeah,
That's Tito.
Not every dog is made cut out to be a therapy dog, and not every human. Sometimes the dogs would be great at it, but sometimes the humans get a lot of anxiety being around kids with special needs or kids that are medically fragile. And if the human has a lot of anxiety, that's just going to flow right down the leash. And it's not going to be a good situation either. So, I mean, that's the main thing we look for when we do our assessments, because they're a team. They have to work together. So you got to find that right fit where it's good fit for the human and it's a good fit for the dog.
Yeah.
Or mini horse or pig or reptile
or one of the many other species that you work with.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What are some of the other species? Off camera, you had mentioned that there's a large number of species. So who else do you work with?
So I personally have a potbelly pig, and so she works with us. She's 10, so she's been doing this for 9 years. We have mini horses. What was that?
What a trooper.
Oh goodness, she loves it. So we have I'm a potbelly pig. We have mini horses. We have desert tortoises. We have rabbits, ball pythons, bearded dragons.
Oh.
And then we don't have these, but we're able to take them. Alpacas, mini donkeys, birds, goats.
What about cats?
Oh, cats, yes. And you know what's ironic? So cats are our number one asked for therapy pet in the autism schools. It's really weird. They always ask, do you have cats? Do you have cats? But I mean, it's also very difficult to explain to them. It's very difficult to find a cat that's going to want to be pet when you want it to be pet.
Right.
Star-Lord.
Dog. And they have to be on a leash also. So because you don't want to chase a cat around the classroom.
No. I am training one of my cats, Star-Lord, and Star-Lord is that cat that you walk into my house and fall in love, and everybody loves Star-Lord. I may get with you because the next step is just training Star to be on a leash. He's not too fond of a leash, and I'm trying to train him because my girlfriend took him, not Candy, another friend, took him outside in her arms one day.
Oops.
We live on South Mountain. For you who
goodness.
know the neighborhood, for those who don't, you may have heard me describe open desert, lots of animals that want to eat my pets. So,
Leash training. Leash training.
Yeah,
Good to
we'll
know
do leash
there are
training.
cats out there like that. So
Have you
training.
tried the like a special cat? They make a special cat harness.
I do. I have it.
Okay.
I have it. And we're just going to have some more training. I am the weak link in training. Candy is a fabulous trainer. I am not a fabulous student.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna have to get some more practice in.
I know.
it's all about discipline. It's all about
Yes.
So getting back to the program and sort of talking about manners and talking about some of the sort of baseline things you need on top of special skills. your organization, as I understand it, is registered with AKC, and most of us traders are familiar with Canine Good Citizen. Can you tell us why that's important?
Absolutely. We have a lot of, there's a vetting process. So not just any organization can be accepted and be part of the AKC Therapy Dog organization. So in order to be on that website, part of that process is you are independent. And so that's what we are. We're an independent organization, meaning we have our own in-house assessment process and we carry our own insurance. So that means when you volunteer with us, you're covered under our insurance policy. And in order to qualify for AKC, we have to provide proof of that to them. But also, if people are looking to earn titles for their dog, then every visit that you complete with Pawsitive Friendships qualifies as an AKC therapy dog visit. So then you collect your visits, and I believe that you earn your first novice title at 25 visits, and then it just increases from there. One of our therapy teams, he's on visit number, gosh, I want to say like 700 and something.
Whoa.
With the AKC. Now his dog is a senior dog, so he's been doing this a while, but his dog is a stud. So when he goes to breed the dog, all of these titles look great. And the fact that he's breeding his dog with this therapy dog trait, and those are things people look for, especially breeders that breed for temperament. That's a great thing to have as well.
Which they should be. All breeders
absolutely
should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So but yes, and then we sign off on it. They just log all their visits, and we have a system in place that we can print out a report, and it shows all of their dates, all their time. So then we just sign off on it. The volunteer then submits it to AKC, and it gets all logged and recorded, and you can start earning your various titles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've developed this program, and obviously specific to this is the child or the adult. These are the needs. This is what the animal, dog, cat, reptile, whatever, can do, feathered friend can do to forward the healing, the whatever of this person, just helping them stay calm, helping them just anxiety levels go down. Is this a program that if someone in New York said, I've been wanting to start this, I have a trained dog, I've been wanting to do something like this, is that a program that you have available? You could train other people to start in their area?
Oh man, that would take a lot of work.
Okay.
So I say that it's not something that I'm opposed to. I'm just the reason I laugh is because we started in Maricopa County, which is the main county in Arizona, and we've been here for a while. And we expanded to Tucson, which is about, those of you that are not in Arizona, it's about 2 hours south of Phoenix. And I thought, you know what? This is an amazing program in Phoenix. Everyone is going to jump all over it. And I'm going to have volunteers signing up. I'm going to have schools signing up. It wasn't that easy. It's still not that easy. We're 2 years into it. We do have schools, and we have adult day programs where we provide services down there. We have volunteers down there. We have a part-time staff member, but it took 2 years to get to that level.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy. I mean, you really have to put in a lot of work. I've spent tons of time just driving down to Tucson, spending days down there to make it successful. For me, this is my baby. It's my life.
Yeah.
So I'm very picky on my expectations because it's my name, everything that's behind it. I'm not opposed to it, but I'd have to have someone that was truly dedicated and said, you know what, we can get the funding to make this happen at the same caliber that it's happening in Phoenix to make it happen in New York, California, Chicago, anywhere. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time that would need to be put into it.
Yep.
To make it be at the level of my expectations.
So if you're listening or viewing
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you are
And
interested in doing this, or maybe you have a program that's in kind with this, please connect with Tosha, because that's a great referral program all around the country for people who say, oh, I wish we had something like this at home. Maybe there is something like this at home, and maybe we can bridge that connection for you.
Absolutely. This is much needed work.
Mhm.
I know there's another organization in Arizona, Gabriel's Angels, and those are support dogs. They usually go to hospitals, totally different hospitals, senior centers. Again, much needed. The love of a pet, the
Animals.
animals,
Animals.
yeah, animals in general, and that the truest definition of unconditional love, just the absolute truest definition, has healed people. I've seen it so many times. And so, yeah, this is important work. If you're out there and you think this is your work, do get in touch with Tosha. She may be able to lead you at least in the right direction.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we work on skills. So we work with occupational therapy students or doctoral students. And in our curriculum, we've narrowed it down to 10 skill areas that we work on within our curriculum. And so when we survey our parents, 85% of our parents say that they have seen a change or an improvement in their child's skills after they work with us versus just traditional therapy.
How validating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's, one last question. We don't want to keep you all night. You have very important work to do. But the question I have is, so specifically, what programs and clients do you serve? You've told us a little bit about occupational therapy, special needs children, but is there kind of a broad generalization that you stick to?
Absolutely. So the general term that we use is special needs, but special needs could cover a huge umbrella. So we've really narrowed it down. So if your child is early, so we do early childhood intervention. So that's younger kids in Arizona. It's a program called AZIP. So typically if they qualify for AZIP or they get services from Department of Developmental Disabilities, then that would fall under our special needs. When we service the schools, then the children need to either have an IEP or a 504 plan. So an IEP, individualized education plan, or the 504 plan. So that way we really can say, these are the special needs that we're working on, and their goals. And then for the adults with developmental disabilities or special needs, then those adults are receiving services from DDD, Department of Developmental Disabilities, and that's how we define all of it. Otherwise, you can talk your way into anything being special needs, right? So those are what we, as an organization, what we use as the guiding point for special needs.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
That's
And
amazing.
I do want to bring up, this is really interesting to me. So I have a significant other whose son has autism.
Oh.
And he is in a program where they're doing occupational therapy, and they're also helping him build social skills. But that was one of the things I approached the counselor on, as I said, can we work with this child on how to approach animals? And the reason why I want to bring this up from a personal standpoint is because you were talking about how healing it is for them and how great it is for them to learn to interact with other species other than just other humans, and kind of getting them there. But also because animals are a part of life, even if we don't anticipate them. And I think knowing how to approach them or how to be approached and teaching that skill is also very valuable for safety.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that's whenever our program is very repetitive. So like the way when we go into a school, they have their expectations that, if you're just sitting and you're bouncing and you're kicking and you have to have a calm body before you can engage with the pet. You're not going to run up to the pet. So we work really closely with the teachers and the paraprofessionals so that everybody, we teach them those boundaries and we teach them our expectations, and that if they're not going to be nice to the pets or they're not going to have appropriate behavior, then they're not going to be allowed to participate. And they want to participate, so they do practice that self-control and emotional regulation, which is all part of life that they need to learn and develop those skills. And the pets are a great motivator for them to do that. We've had a girl that we work with at Foundation for Blind Children. She was just deathly afraid of dogs, deathly. Like she would not even, we would walk in the room, she would scream and run to one side. And we just let her, the teacher made her a little quiet area. And then we would bring in books and that were dog focused. And then we would let her read the book. And then one day we brought in a golden doodle and she was very intrigued because she said, this dog has the same color hair as me. And so she wanted to engage with this dog because the dog has the same color hair as she did. And so since that day, it's been slow progress in getting her to engage with the pets. And an update now, we asked Mom, hey, how's she doing with the dogs at home? And she said, well, she won't engage with the dogs at home because they don't have the blue vest. So she tells her mom that she will only engage with the dogs that wear the blue vest, which teal is our color. And so she recognizes that those dogs are the safe dogs for her.
Interesting. Oh my gosh, what a great story though for her to grow, and just amazing. Well, we're going to let you get back to that important work you're doing. We're not going to keep you all night.
Thank you.
But we are going to share in the description box the link to your website so that people can explore more. Do you want to go ahead and say what that is for anyone listening?
Absolutely. So it's Pawsitive Friendships, PAWSITIVE friendships, plural.org.
Sorry, Chuckles is crawling into Kat's lap, and he's just trying to get comfortable. They had some fun with friends earlier today, so I think he's just a little bit more tired than usual because he was hanging out with friends. So, well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for sharing what you do. Call to action. I know that you need volunteers.
Yeah.
How can we help? For anyone listening, what can we do to get the word out for you?
Absolutely. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn. Check out our website. And then if you don't have a pet, that would be great. For a therapy pet, we also are starting this new committee. It's our community outreach committee. So if you're looking to get involved in events, helping us to recruit volunteers, anything that's community engagement, reach out to us and get involved in our committee.
Awesome.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tosha. We hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for sharing, and we will share this among and encourage anyone to reach out to us and reach out to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
It's amazing work.
Yeah, it really is. I think you should work on that leash training for
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, Digby might, but then he barks too much. That's the problem.
Well, we've worked on that.
We've
so
worked on
have you
that.
Not kept up with practice?
I do. He just
He's always had a lot to say.
He likes to hear the sound of his own voice, not unlike his mother. And that would be me. Star-Lord, no, that is really crazy. I think we're going to get Star-Lord some more leash training.
I would. Sounds like they could use them up there.
They could use them for sure.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please follow Pawsitive Friendships. I will drop that link in the description box of this episode, both the audio and the YouTube platforms. Thank you so much. We're here for you every Thursday, all things pet parent Corgi lifestyle. I'm Candy, and now in Kat's lap is Chuckles.
Yes.
We're throwing it up today.
Yes.
Throwing a caution today.
That's it. He's just with his, is it visible on the?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think his little paw is up on the microphone stand. He just snoozing, doing a good snooze.
With his little nose right up against the microphone. I am Catherine.
And from Tito and Booger and Mortimer Barnabas and of course Digby and Calabria at home.
And Calabria, yeah.
We will see you next week.
Bye.